Hi, I'm Gabby Shilo, and this is my final project for ECI 537, a multi-genre unit on assimilation and acceptance in America. As we all know, today's classroom is a diverse mix of students from various different cultural backgrounds. Middle school especially can be a tough time for students just in general, but there's an added burden on students who are coming to this country for the first time and are new to American culture. Oftentimes these students will feel like outsiders not only in school but outside of it as well. And creating an understanding classroom culture will help create a safe space for students who are struggling with learning how to navigate a new culture. The target audience for this unit is 8th graders in an ELA class. The reason for this is that according to the Kiefer and Tyson text, middle school students are starting to develop a sense of identity and self-concept. So it's important as a middle school teacher to help students find those identities, but also to promote a sense of awareness as to what is going on with others. One of my biggest influences with this multi-genre unit was actually the Perkins text, because I felt like I could use literature, to use Rudine Sims Bishop's metaphor, use it both as a window into American life, but also as a mirror to help those that maybe are having trouble assimilating feel less isolated. Literature that acts as a mirror for one student might be a window for another, and this can help to promote a dialogue among students that can lead to a greater understanding for everybody. The central text of this unit is going to be Jean Luen Yang's graphic novel American Born Chinese, and this is a graphic novel that weaves together three seemingly unrelated stories to discuss issues related to assimilating into American culture. One reason I chose this text is because Thibault writes, using children's literature, teachers can help their class through difficult situations, enable individual students to transcend their own challenges, and teach students to consider all viewpoints, respect differences, and become more self-aware. And American Born Chinese provides an avenue for a lot of different discussions that we can have in the classroom that relate to those things that Thibault discusses in her article. I'm also going to be incorporating 5 different picture books into the unit, all of which center around the theme of a new student coming to an American school from a different culture. And those books are The Name Jar, My Name is Yoon, One Green Apple, 3 Names of Me, and Yoko Writes Her Name. And then I also have incorporated 2 news articles into this multi-genre study. The first one is a New York Times article called Where Education and Assimilation Collide, and the second is an article from The Atlantic called Bilingualism When Education and Assimilation Clash. And both articles talk about how the American education system approaches helping new students who are coming to American schools for the first time. Dietrich and Ralph are quoted in the Kiefer and Tyson text, and they say, when multicultural literature becomes an integral part of the curriculum and teachers act as models and guides, classrooms can become areas for open exchange. So a lot of this unit is going to be dealing with that idea of open exchange. The goal is that students will walk away with a better understanding of the struggles that people face when they come into this country, and maybe perhaps the struggles that some of their classmates have faced when coming to this country for the first time, and hopefully to have students form some ideas about how we, both as a classroom and as a school, can be more accepting to different cultures that come into our classroom and come into our school. And ultimately, I want to foster a classroom that celebrates diversity. The first 3 days of the unit will focus on students understanding the importance of their own identity and how their name kind of impacts that identity. So students are going to start off on day 1 by journaling about the origin of their name. And then on day 2, they're actually going to be assigned a literature circle, and each literature circle is going to be given one of the picture books. They're going to read the picture book and engage in small group discussions, and these discussions are going to center around how the book addresses identity and fitting in. And then on the 3rd day, they're going to actually jigsaw into second groups, and each group will have 1 member from each literature circle, and they're going to engage in a second discussion about how characters in the books that they read were made to feel a part of the group, and they're also going to assess the merits in the way in which this assimilation was described. Days 4 through 13 are going to center on our central text, which is American-born Chinese. Students are first going to read the text, then they're also going to do an image analysis. Students will also be in a literature circle, and they will be able to discuss some of the salient points of American-born Chinese with their literature circle. And then that section of the unit will be wrapped up with teacher-led whole group discussions about major themes, essential questions, highlighting areas of morality and ethics, character developments, and the big sort of themes and takeaways from the book. The final project or activities in this unit will center around a PDEA seminar, and students will both participate in the PDEA seminar and then write an argument reflection. And to start preparing for this final project, students will have a choice between one of the two newspaper articles. They will do a close reading of the article that they select, determining central idea, determining main arguments, determining key supporting details, and also creating questions to use in the seminar. Students will then engage in a PDEA seminar in which they discuss not only the informational text but also American-born Chinese and their picture book. And the topic of this seminar will be assimilation and acceptance in American culture. After the seminar, students will write an in-class essay read in this unit, and they're going to be writing about how schools should help immigrants transition to a new country and assimilate into American culture. As you can see, this unit addresses multiple standards in reading literature, reading informational text, writing, and also speaking and listening standards. So with this unit, I really hope to open the door of communication about race, but more specifically about assimilation. Through our PDEA discussion and reflection essay, students will be able to form their own opinions of how assimilation should be addressed in the education system and can use this platform to act accordingly. That concludes my overview of my final project. If you would like to look at any of the text, I've provided the bibliography here, and I've also provided my references. I hope you enjoyed.